Your thoughts are so easy to control if you put the intention behind wanting to control them. Thinking about, what are you thinking? Why are you thinking it? What are you watching? Why are you watching it? What are you reading? Why are you reading it? And once you put down like goals and you write things down and you have a vision board and you start thinking about, what is it that I want in my life? What is my vision? What is my goals? And the richest people in the world have bigger visions and bigger goals years into the future that keep them going and keep them on point. Right, so welcome, and I'm super excited. This is going to be an impromptu, but a good video, a good podcast. It's a solo podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's no guest. Where's our guest? But we have a previous episode with Alvin that was there in the hot seat, an amazing episode. You could definitely check it out. And I thought to myself, we actually had a guest scheduled for today, and she canceled. And one reason or another, she canceled, totally fine. And I was like, you know what? If I have this time slot available, why don't I film and take advantage of the opportunity and give some content to the team and be able to do a featured video for the YouTube channel and also some featured content for the episode, or for the, I would say, the entirety of the actual episode, or should I say the entirety of the experience. Like, let's give some context here. Why did we kick off this show, the Liftoff Experience, after already having Real Estate First Technology, a podcast that I've filmed over 520 plus episodes on already? Why is the branding so close to Liftoff Agent? What did my business partner have to say about going in this direction? And what is the goal long term for this experience? And now I say experience more than I say podcast, because this is more of an experience than a podcast. And so you can look at this as like, okay, Joe Rogan has an experience, the Joe Rogan experience, it's a podcast. And, there's some inspiration behind Joe Rogan. I don't watch all of his episodes and shows, but I definitely feel like I like that he just has a conversation. I like that he's raw and authentic. And so there's some motivation there. I like that the conversation can go over an hour, sometimes 2 hours. I think there's something to be said with that there. So shout out Joe Rogan, and shout out to everything that you've done and the inspiration behind this show. Now, this show isn't 100% just inspiration from that perspective. The reason why we kicked off the show, and the reason why more so, I guess you could say, I kicked off the show, and a huge thank you to Liftoff Agent, our team of editors behind the scenes, all of our clients at Liftoff Agent, because if it wasn't for you at Liftoff Agent, there would be no way for us to be able to do this show, have this podcast, and be able to share these stories. Like the story that we shared with the gentleman who's playing in the background right now, Alvin. And I know for me that Liftoff Agent is going to be for a time, right? Serving the real estate community, doing what I'm doing to be in that industry as a CEO of a tech marketing company is going to be for a time. It's going to be for a season. And I know that for me, I really want to be able to just maximize my overall health, well-being, mentally, physically, spiritually. I want to challenge myself. And what better way to challenge myself than bring people to my personal residence and have them literally sit right there in the hot seat and be on an episode and pick their brain, ask them questions, and really understand, why. Why do you do what you do? How'd you get into it? Get into their story, understand their liftoff moments. So the episodes are around liftoff personally, professionally, and spiritually, right? And so I kick this off. I can't believe it's going on already I want to say close to a year. Let's find out specifically when we kick this off here. So the very first episode, we will tell you right now when it kicked off. And I remember before we had the YouTube channel, and we just actually launched all of we were just doing video. We actually had nothing on the audio side for like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. So basically, yeah, it looks like the very first episode that was uploaded was a year ago. Looking here, about a year ago. So the date was, to see if it shows the date here on YouTube, September 24th, 2024. I can't believe it's already been a year. Wow. This is when it was just the Real Estate First Technology Studio. And then we ended up getting the Liftoff agent or the Liftoff experience sign. And then from there, we now have the TV because I want to make it so it's universal, right? I could do real estate first technology here. We still are doing that podcast, more technology, real estate focused. And then I can also be able to do what we're doing here with the Liftoff experience. And then, if I wanted to offer this studio and this space for other podcaster, I possibly could. So September, October, November, December. So it's been over a year. And right now on the YouTube channel, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, like, notification bell. Almost 30,000 views since July 2023, kicking off the channel. First episode in September, and it's September, October. So yeah, we're a little over a year now. And what's the goal? Like, why kick this off? Why do this? Well, my thing is that I know for a fact that eventually Liftoff Agent will go through a change. Maybe it's going to be sold at one point. Make sure that if it does get sold, it's going to get sold to the right individual and the right entity. So that way, the integrity of Liftoff Agent's always going to be there and potentially be an advisor. We'll see what happens. And I know that, like, if I want to get into personal development and I want to get into the opportunity of, like, my whole thing is serving. And if I want to be serving and supporting and helping, what better way to do it than be able to have individuals like Alvin and other episodes that we've had with Anna and Michelle, and my wife is on the show, and so many more, Michael, where if I could have them in my court, there's so many amazing, beautiful things that can happen because it's about proximity. So they say that you're like the sum five people that you hang out with the most. And if I can be in proximity with someone and be able to rub elbows and potentially collaborate with them and explore opportunities with them, that means that there is possibilities for other things in the future to be able to be of service to mankind. When I first started, it's funny how we say, when you don't know. But when I first started Liftoff Agent, before it was Liftoff Agent, it was literally me in my apartment. And I was banging my head against the wall. I didn't know who I was going to serve. And I found J. Rockcliffe Realtors, called 350 Agents, and cracked up a solution that we have here today called Liftoff Agent. It went from personal assistance, concierge service that I had, to support RE, and people were like, RE support RE, what is this? To then Liftoff Agent. And then now to be where I'm at today, I've learned so many things, and I'm so blessed and so grateful to go from where I was to where I'm at, and living in California to now living in Arizona, and then meeting my wife and meeting her on Instagram. And you can learn more about her story on this show. And then we were going to reverse roles. I wasn't having her interview me, but I got to go back to that. We haven't done that yet. I was interesting when your partner interviews you. Very interesting. So then moving out here, having a 7-year-old daughter, building out this recording studio, 500 plus episodes with Real Estate First Technology, kicked that off during COVID. And I started that podcast because I couldn't meet people anymore. I couldn't go out, meet them. I used to meet agents at offices and go through that process and be able to do like a strategy call in person. And then, moving out here to now, there he goes again. Here I said, there you go. Or not there you go. As you know, or whatever I just said. By the way, side cliff note, I've been fasting now for almost 24 hours. It's 2 o'clock filming this. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 hours. It'll be 24 hours fasted and nothing but fluids. I have this mushroom drink here. So um, it's interesting how fasting, speaking of biohacking and liftoff moment, um, can affect, like, say, fasting can affect your mind and the thought process. And so talk about being challenged, right? I'm doing this podcast solo, being challenged, doing the fasting, maximizing the opportunity. But back to the story. So from, doing all those things, kicking off the business, moving out to California, coming to Arizona, having my wife now, having my daughter, having this recording studio, and then getting to a point over a year and a half ago saying, I want to do something and I want to evolve into this space of personal development. And I'll tell you the story, how this became, and a little bit of the back and forth that my business partner, Smith, and I had, because Smith was concerned about the liftoff experience and like, is it a good idea from the perspective of like the logo, the branding to like be the same, or should it be different? I went back and forth looking at like a logo and what that's going to look like. And call me crazy, I already had a podcast, Real Estate versus Technology, and why another one? Why add another thing to the mix? And so I'm doing this for now and also for the future, and I'm doing this for human and mankind. And real estate versus technology is more real estate technology conversations, and I want to get in personal development. So I said, Smith, I said, I think this podcast could be good, and we can still have some agents on it, and we can go deeper in personal development. And if you're a business owner, personal development, personally, professionally, and spiritually comes up. It's hard not to come up, right? We as a human species are here to learn, grow, understand things that we didn't understand before. That's why our children ask us questions and they're curious and they want to learn things. And I think, as we get older, we need to always stay curious. I think that curiosity, yeah, it killed the cat, but curiosity is what keeps life fun and exciting. And I feel like the more that you have fun with life, the more you can be able to continuously grow and learn and live and enjoy. And that's my intention. I want to learn, I want to love, I want to grow, and I'm here to do all the things. And so this is my passion project. The Liftoff experience is a passion project with the opportunity to be able to be around like-minded individuals in different categories, personal, professional, spiritual, and that could be biohacking, that could be the gym, that could be all types of things, right? It could be different types of modalities. It could be past life progression. It could be all these different subjects that I'm curious about, because I can't believe that there's just one way, just the one way, Christianity, just one way, um, Buddhism, just one way, Mormonism, just one way, the Bible, Jesus Christ. I have to explore, because once you can get different concepts and ideas from multiple different types of walks of life and people, then you can take the ideas and the ideologies and all the information and you can kind of like craft and form your own opinion. And that's what I did with Liftoff Agent. I just went out and I learned and I understood and I met now thousands of agents and interviewed 500 plus individuals, real estate first technology. And from that process, it helped me craft Liftoff Agent from the perspective of, how are we going to show up for our future clients and current clients? How are we going to show up for our team and staff? How am I going to show up for myself? And how do we have an open door policy and do things differently at Liftoff Agent from my past experience of working for other people that didn't look at me as an asset? And I took all these things and I've crafted a company that I feel like is absolutely amazing. Now, can ask the team and staff to get their opinion if they feel the same. I do believe that they do. And we actually have some team staff members who are now editing this podcast episode. So, hey, team, let's get some clips of the Liftoff Agent staff right now and put it in this episode. How do y'all feel about Liftoff Agent? And so now we're a year in plus in this episode, in this podcast. And to finish up the story I was just talking about with Smith, he didn't want to do the podcast close to Liftoff Agent. He wanted it to be something different. Um, I didn't quite want to rebrand Real Estate First Technology to like the Liftoff Agent podcast, which I probably could still do, but it just makes it nice. It's Real Estate First Technology, so it's real estate and versus technology, so it's real estate and technology conversations in that space. And then now this gives me a whole new world to explore. And so Smith said, okay, fine, let's do it. You know, the alien, I know it's kind of controversial. Why is there an alien? Because it makes you wonder, are they out there? Do they exist? Do they not exist? Right? So the logo is supposed to emote and poke at curiosity, right? And the liftoff experience is very close to Liftoff Agent logo because Liftoff Agent sponsors it, and I want there to be some similarities. And I just love the brand, and I, have the rocket ship on my arm. You come into the studio, it's branded. My truck's branded. I do the hair thing. I don't have the blue right now. I just did the blonde. I gotta dye this blue here soon. I bought some just color washout type colors, so I could do blue and I could do green and I could do red for the holidays because it's Christmas time. December, what are we at? December 12th when filming this. So I don't really like those. I'm probably gonna go just solid color. And so now I got the blessing from Smith, even though, we're leveraging the video team for Real Estate First Technology and for the liftoff experience. Um, but it's amazing to think like, give you an example. So this is how I operate, and this is how all this works behind the scenes. So Alvin, who's basically on one of our past episodes, playing on the screen to my right, if you're listening to this, he has a facility. I went to it, and they have everything from the vibe bed. He has a light bed. He has like hyperbaric chamber, and he talks about like stem cells. So I went to his facility. It was an hour out past Phoenix, and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing. We got to get you on the podcast, the Liftoff Experience. I think this would be a great show, for you to be on and for you to share what you're doing." And so he's like, "All right, cool, yeah, I'll get on." Months later, he got on, and so it was a great podcast. I really enjoyed it, and from that, I did a social post. So we got connected deeper because of the podcast. And he came over with like stem cells for me. We're gonna be trying something different. Plus, he gave me some micro mushrooms. Like, really cool dude. Yes, I micro every so often. Good for the neural pathways and connections in your brain, and it's all natural. So I was like on stories. I said went to an event for Follow Up Boss on the real estate side, and I was just like, hey, what's up, everyone? I need some help. Yada yada yada. I need to find someone that can help me cater because I'm getting on stage, 130 agents, and I'm the food sponsor, so I need to basically provide the food. So I was like, okay, let me know, who do you got? Alvin sends me a message. I got a guy. He does tacos. He's awesome. Blah blah blah. His name's Ariel. So Ariel, I met on one of our past podcast guests, Travis's podcast. It was the first and last event I went to with Travis's event. He means well. He's a good dude. I just, your vibe creates your tribe, and the vibe was off for me, and I went into just a different direction. And so I got connected back with Ariel, excuse me, and Ariel connected me, Alvin, all the things. So then I was like, okay, cool. I need tacos. And he's like, it's $3,400. I'm like, $3,400. I'm like, I just got quoted with his name is Taco Tony, not Taco Tony. His name's Tony, but Taco Tony. He does tacos, and then he did our floors. I used to do fix and flip with my wife and I here in Arizona. We flipped like 8 different properties, mobiles, double wides. Super fun process. And I gave him a call. He's at 3,400. Tony was at like $1,800, and I also sponsored, or should I say, Liftoff Agent sponsored his softball team, and so that was a pretty good price. Then I'm like, I'll probably get sandwiches. Keep it simple, get sandwiches, whatever, go to Costco and so get the sandwiches, get some waters, get some cookies, get some sodas, call it a day. So then he's like, oh yeah, man. I said, yeah, so this isn't probably gonna work. It's too much. We're gonna go out to in March, we're going to for my birthday and to get the team leads together, we're going out to Japan. So I said, we're going to Japan. I also would like to send $1,000 over to, I serve and support a orphanage in Kenya. Shout out Douglas. Want to send this money off to Kenya. We're going to Japan. Also want to give some bonuses to our team, end of the year, Christmas bonuses. So I said, I don't know if that's going to work. He's like, oh, well, you do websites, right? I'm like, yeah. I was like, you have a website? He's like, yeah, but it's not working. There's some issues and so on and so forth. So I said, okay, cool. Send me over the link. The link doesn't work. And I said, okay, I see it. So I said, hey, yeah, we could potentially make you a website. Now, Cliff note, just so you know, and Smith's probably going to be like, thanks for putting that out there. We don't do build websites for just anybody and everyone. I built a site for my wife's company, ResNT. AC went out, built a site for Corey, and we got a better price on the AC. And then now we're talking to basically Ariel to do a site for him in exchange for the tacos. The cool thing is that if this would work out, the cool thing is that it would be free. We could barter, and then I could show up with like this elaborate freaking amazing catering services that like no one would ever like imagine. And I want you to remember that people forget what you said and did, but they won't forget the way you made them feel. So I can make them feel something, I can show up, and I can be able to do something that isn't expected, right? They're like, usually sandwiches, it's usually cheaper, right? Because at the end of the day, if I was to say spend $3,400, I'm not guaranteed to get that money back. Now, Liftoff Agent website is anywhere from like say 2,500 to 5,000. So we really need to close 1% of 130 people and then we're good, right? That's like what, 13 people. So, you know, is that right? Fact check me in the comments. So I'm like, all right, like this would be a really good idea. So I talked to Smith. I asked him, hey, what do you think? Do we want to do this catering website and so on and so forth? I like to do sites that are going to be in line with real estate. And the reason why we only do specifically real estate websites is because eventually I want to sell the company and I want to make sure that I'm focused in one sector and one segment. So bring it together full circle, let them know. Smith said it's good. We're on the same page. It's good. Send him out a contract. I just sent him a contract. I said, send him an email. Wait, sign off the contract. On Monday, we're going to go do the walkthrough of the venue and I'm going to have him go with. So then that way he can see everything. And then we're going to meet on Thursday, the 18th. Thursday, the 18th, we're going to meet and we're good to go. And I saved $3,400. He saves $3,400. He sends me over all the details of the invoice at zero. I send him an invoice and everything at zero. He's already has everything from me. I'm just still waiting from him. So I'm kind of like staying on top of him to make sure things are going to be good. And so to put bow tie on this story, it's like, well, the goal of this experience and the liftoff experience in general is to elevate the consciousness of mankind. Like that's the goal, right? It's a freaking lofty goal. The biggest experience to exist, right? Bigger than Joe Rogan and in the personal development space. So right now, if it wasn't for the liftoff experience and then going to that event, shout out Travis, and then meeting Alvin, and then Alvin being on the show that kept me top of mind. So then he connected me with Ariel because of this real estate event. I would have been able to save $3,400 to be able to do this elaborate catering. And now I go to the event, get to speak for 10 to 15 minutes. I get a booth, get to show this elaborate catering, right? Ariel potentially picks up additional business, right? We close 5 of 10 clients. Now we're in the money. We are, and it's not like we wouldn't be in the money anyways, right? Besides my time and then the team's time to build the site. So we're just leveraging our past efforts. We're on salary. Smith's on salary. So it's all good. go to the event, close the 10, bring in the additional income. We don't wait until 2026 to like have liftoff and have more success. We literally have more success now, getting in front of 130 agents in Tempe, which is like, we want to expand more here in Arizona, since coming from California is where I'm from, and Smith's from California, and we split from California and came out here about 5 years ago this summer, so 2026 or 25 when this is filmed. So it's a freaking win-win-win. So those are the type of situations and opportunities that come about from a podcast that is behind the scenes. It's the relationships and it's the belly to belly opportunities from this perspective that I'm sharing with you that you would never know would even be possible if it wasn't for the podcast. So, give you another example. Just got back from Follow Up Boss's conversion event. And at the conversion event, I had shout out to our podcast guest that we had on the show. I believe he'll be going live next week. And that's going to be Maddie Moves. And so Maddie was like, hey, dude, you got me on the podcast. You're going to be doing the short form. You're doing the long form. Your team's doing all this work. It's on me. I'll film you. I'll produce a video for you, day in the life vlog at this event. Okay. Boom. Just got another opportunity because someone was on the podcast to bring a videographer to this real estate focused event. And now we're winning. Because the thing that you have to remember in business, and take it from someone that was all over the place in my 20s, and I was over here and I was over there with different business ideas and business ventures that did not sync. Okay. They did not intertwine. And there's something called the synergetic effect. And my wife would talk about it with her tea and mushrooms, right? Watch our episode. If you have a business and all the businesses work together, the cool thing is that if I have this podcast, Liftoff Experience, and I'm tying it into the sponsor, Liftoff Agent, and it's now it's showing fruit from the perspective of, now I got a video person to film and to do some things at an event. Now I have someone for catering that's going to cater this event with 130 agents. Shout out to Elias. Hopefully we'll get him on the show. It's his event. It's the Keep It Moving coaching platform. We built their site at Liftoff Agent, and he's doing business planning for 2026. This is what this event is about. If it wasn't for the podcast and going deeper relationships and have the synergetic effect, I wouldn't be able to leverage Liftoff Agent, pull that lever. Real Estate First Technology, pull that lever. The Liftoff Experience, pull that lever. So I'm pulling other levers in Real Estate First Technology, but that's not what this is about right now. I'm not focusing on that. And I have meetings next week and potential opportunity to do business with agents because of that podcast, which is such a blessing. I'm going to do one of these. So my intention for this episode is to give you more context, share some stories, and be able to bring you in closer, right? From the perspective of like, I like this to be a community effort. So what I mean by that is that I would love for you to back this community and start off simple. Like this episode, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with your feedback. Share this episode with someone you think that should see it, that maybe is interested in potentially watching an episode of Real Estate, the Liftoff Experience, Real Estate First Technology is what I'm about to say. That's my fasted brain going on right now. I think I'm pretty focused and I'm doing pretty good. Gotta give myself a pat on the back for not eating for almost 24 hours, 25 hours, 24 hours, and then doing this. And so moving forward, we are going to bring you some of the best podcast experience episodes that we possibly can. That's going to help you lift off and have more lift off in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. Whether some may be about business, some may be about spiritual, some may be about physical, some may be about mental, right? And if you are someone that's like sitting here and you're like, listening to what I'm talking about and it resonates with you and you're like, you know what? I have a business, I have a story, I have a past life progression, I have something spiritual, I have something that I want to share. I want you to send me a direct message at Mr. Liftoff. Send me a direct message and tell me why you should be on our show. It has to be in person, so you got to come out to Gilbert, Arizona and sit in the hot seat and we'll get you on the show. And from there, there's already amazing episodes that you can watch. So you can watch my wife's episode, Travis's episode, Alvin's episode. And the cool thing is that every single episode um, has that synergetic effect. I like to tie them in to each other. So just this one episode that I'm filming solo tied into multiple other episodes because of the story I just told you. So then this story that I'm telling you right now is like you reading a book and it's one chapter and you can watch the other chapters in this storyline of this book from a audible perspective to get a total different perspective on all of the things that I'm talking about by then listening to other stories that I'll tell you and that I will get from our guests from Alvin's episode, Melissa's episode, my wife, right? Travis's episode, right? Those are some of the ones I was just talking about just right now. And I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking now over 30 minutes of your time to either watch this on YouTube or listen to it and be a part of this crazy experience and existence that I'm creating. You know, it's a Friday. I got my wife outside, my daughter's outside this office slash studio. They're hanging out. It's like 2:30. I'm pretty much done for the day. I just have a couple of last little things I need to do on the follow-up side. Got a couple of agents that got back to me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna film this. And I was gonna go take like a quick little nap and then wake up and then film this. But I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do this. And it's crazy because I'm running on fumes because I haven't had anything to eat, but that ties into personal development. Can I focus and can I do an episode solo and do it fasted and be clear and be able to add value and keep up a conversation? How did I do? I would love to get your feedback. And I want to give you a couple of reminders. You know, if it doesn't challenge you, doesn't change you in life, I believe that we are all here to be challenged. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason and it happens for us for a reason, not to us. I believe that the glass is half full, not half empty. And I believe that it's crazy to be like, oh, I'm going to do this podcast and I'm going to, start this. And I did. And here we are. And as crazy as it is that I started this podcast and I'm sitting in this room by myself filming this episode solo, fasted almost 24 hours, dude, anything is possible because you know what is fueling me right now? What's fueling me is the fact that I'm in my alignment of doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. And I'm enjoying every single moment of it. I don't have to be here. I don't have to do this. I could be with my family right now. I could be going on a walk. I could be going driving my RC car. So I'll probably do that afterwards. Go drive, my GTR, TRX, go have some fun. But I'm here with you. And I'm here with you because you're here for a reason. And I believe in you. And I know that you're going to get value from this current episode and other episodes that are on our playlist. Or you can go to Spotify, go to that playlist, listen to them in the car, at the gym, what have you, or watch it. Put on the TV, watch it. Either way, my intention is for you to watch one of our episodes and hear something that sparks something that gives you the ability to think outside the box just a little bit to potentially have more liftoff in your life. Because I can't sit here and believe that everything that I know and what I've been told is the only way. And the only way I expand on being able to understand things that I don't know is by interviewing people that know more than I in subject matter area that I want to explore. And this podcast gives me the opportunity to have more liftoff in my life. And as I have more liftoff in my life, being selfless, I could share it with the world, you, and then you could potentially hear something that can be the catalyst to change your life as you know it to be today. And it's crazy to think about that philosophy and that process and to be like, whoa, that is possible. Because it's every book I've read, every YouTube video I watched, every person I've met, every episode I've filmed, and every single thing I have done in my life to this exact point, this exact moment, to be able to be who I am today. And I am so incredibly grateful for every single person that has watched anything, because we live in a world that everyone's trying to grab attention. And that's fine. I just believe that you got to be careful about who and what you're listening to and make sure it's in alignment with what you are committed to. And that's why I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I specifically pick and choose deliberately what I click on, what I push on my phone, and what I watch or what I listen to. The book, the YouTube video, it's all very intentional. I don't have a TV in the background playing. I don't allow programs to program me based off what they feel I need to see. I want to make sure that I'm intentional about that. And I want you to think to yourself, how are you being intentional with what you're watching and what you're doing every single day of your life? Because I did a post today, and I'll read the quote, and it goes something like this. The quote states on Instagram at Mr. Liftoff, how you think will affect how you live. Upgrade your thoughts, upgrade your life. And your thoughts are so easy to control if you put the intention behind wanting to control them. Thinking about, what are you thinking? Why are you thinking it? What are you watching? Why are you watching it? What are you reading? Why are you reading it? And once you put down like goals and you write things down and you have a vision board and you start thinking about, what is it that I want in my life? You know, what is my vision? What is my goals? And the richest people in the world have bigger visions and bigger goals years into the future that keep them going and keep them on point. Like, if you have a homeless person, they're just looking to think about the next meal. If you have someone like Jeff Bezos, or you have someone like Mark Zuckerberg, or you have someone like Elon Musk, they're thinking life after death. How will they be remembered? What are they doing? How are they impacting? And what's next? And I can relate to that because this is something that will live beyond me, this recording right now. And I'm thinking 5 years exit, $300 million lift off, one of my goals. I'm thinking this podcast is going to be the biggest podcast, bigger than the Joe Rogan Experience. Then I'm thinking land, warehouse, car collective. Then I'm thinking house up north. I'm thinking houses in different locations that I can go to, that I can have on Airbnb, that I can use myself, and I can let other people use them, and then I can have a car at that location. I can put it on, say, Toro, and that could be rented, and someone could live in the house, and it could be called experience share. And then I could be able to not have a timeshare, but reverse engineer that and be able to go where I want, how I want, and have great internet anywhere I want to go. And then I'm thinking about having my own plane, and then that own plane has a pilot, and then I can fly out to those different locations and be able to enjoy my life and do what I want to do with that. I'm thinking 120 plus years. I'm thinking about tracking every single thing that is going on in my life with this wearable. Why the hell am I sticking up my finger if you're watching this? With this wearable. So then if I go into my data, I could literally look at sleep, I could look at relax, vitals, and activity. And then I can go to this phone And I can go into here and I could say, okay, where am I at from the perspective of eating? And I can go to my fitness pal and I can tell you exactly where I'm at with my fitness pal. Right now I'm at 2,000 calories that I need to eat because guess what? I'm fasting. So, all this stuff, 6,639 steps. All this stuff is stuff that is coming up for me in the future. And because I have all these aspirations and goals and things that I want to do for the future, it fuels me today. And like, that's the cheat code, dude. If you could just think to yourself, what are you committed to? What do you want? Where do you want to go? And it's not so much about how you need to get there and what you need to do to get there. That will come because I don't have the answer of how I'm going to be able to buy the land and build a warehouse for car storage and entrepreneur hangout and podcast and content filming room and all that type of stuff. I don't have the answers of when I'm going to buy specifically the jet. I don't even have the answer as far as when I'm going to get the house up north, because I'm not going to change my current circumstance, right? I'm building, also a car collection, right? There's so far 3 in the collection: a wife's car, GTR, TRX. She has a Honda Santa Fe, the new 2024, remodeled, redesigned, whatever. So that's what fuels me, right? And so knowing what I know now and knowing that I want to do the best I can to be able to put out content like this, to be able to serve and support, and everything's a test. This could flop, one person sees it, or this could be actually amazing. And the catalyst to people watching the old episodes and the new episodes. I don't know what I don't know. What I do know is that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do in alignment with my higher self to continuously grow, continuously learn, and to have more success in my life. And that's what I want to do. I want to keep challenging myself because I want to be able to unlock the doors that I didn't know I had the keys to. But those keys don't come, like the answers to how I'm going to get the goals that I want to achieve, until they show up. And the universe and God and Jesus Christ and Buddha and whatever you believe has an interesting way of sharing and showing you specifically the keys. Then you open that door and you're like, whoa, wow, it's amazing. So I want you to think about that and just take a second and be like, you know what? Am I committed to where I'm at right now? Am I happy with where I'm at right now? Or do I want something to be different in my life? You know? And if you want more energy and you want more zest for life, write down what your future existence could look like. The house, the cars, the trips, the whatever it is. And imagine how that would feel. Because for me, it feels freaking amazing. Like, honestly, I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be filming this right now because as I'm doing it, it just I feel like, honestly, I've been fasted for now almost 25 hours, 24 hours, whatever. It's almost 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 3 more hours to 24. That 19, 20 hours now. And I'm getting this, like, if you're ever fasted, like euphoric feeling. And then on top of it, I'm filming this episode. And like, if you've ever like smoked weed before or popped a pill before or whatever, or like drank some alcohol and like you felt like just amazing. Imagine feeling amazing without a hangover or without any repercussions from like doing nothing more than doing what you love and then fasting during the time that you do what you love and completely being in bliss. Because if I go right now and I look at my relaxed status, you know where I'm at? I'm at a 91. Vitals are at a 90. You know what my goal is? 100. It says relax and normal condition ratio, 93%. So that's excellent. And I can only be in an excellent category when it comes to my relax and stress level if I'm doing something that I love and I'm not thinking about the bills I got to pay. I'm not thinking about the past baggage I had, things I went through, and all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I want you really to think and ask yourself, like, if you're happy, you're happy. If you're not happy, you're not happy. And I was watching a video and they were talking about how the healthcare system is a hoax and all they want to do is just manage your stress, take this pill, manage your diabetes, take that pill, insulin, whatever. And they talked about how there was a story where a woman cured her cancer after 40 days of fasting. So it's crazy to think about what you could do by literally just fasting and resetting your entire body, writing down your goals, praying, meditating, and going through a opportunity to just like wake up and be like, whoa, I see life differently now. Interesting. And that's what this show's about, to give you the opportunity to see things differently, to be able to wake up from your current existence and be able to say, whoa, I want change. Pray on it, meditate on it, journal on it, but go within. And I've done a lot of self evaluation and a lot of internal work to get to this point where I'm like, let's go. And 2026 is going to be an amazing year. It's going to be the year. I'm not saying like, oh, new year, new me, that type of shit. No. I'm talking about the year that I take action steps towards doing content and some things that are really going to be the catalyst to the next level of growth, exposure, and next level change. So new episodes are going to be personal, professional, and spiritual driven, depending on the guest, is depending on how deep I'll go within different conversations. Like I had a conversation with a gentleman that came all the way out from Canada to be on the show. And his name is Kelly. And I talked about past life progression. And I talked about some things that came up working with Anna, who's also on the show, who's a chiropractor that doesn't touch you. That's 5 episodes now you can check out if you're here with me. And if they're open, I'm going to go deeper in the spiritual side. If they're not, I won't. Touch more on the personal, not super open, then I won't. Professional, easy peasy. People have no problem talking about professional stuff. Personal, a little bit harder. Spiritual, deeper, even harder for some. And I actually had, was it Tiny Goodbyes on, and that was going to be with Michaela, same name as my sister, and her partner Dean. And it was a great episode. It was a little rocky at the beginning, and he didn't really want to open up. And then he finally started to open up a little bit. And my wife's like, you need to vet people out, not just have anyone on your show. And I'm like, I get it. And for some reason, I just kind of go with my gut and jump into the deep end, man, and figure it out how to swim and how to go through the process. It's probably not always the smartest and wisest, but what it is it's challenging. And not only is it challenging, it forces me to grow. I'm drinking the Alive root beer. So it's like I'm having soda, but it's not. Rishi, turkey tail, and chinga. I don't know what that is, but 20 calories. 20 calories. It has vitamin C and delicious. I stay fasted. I'm gonna have to have some additional bone broth here in a second, and I have my amino acids and everything else in the morning. So I'm getting just liquids, and I think today all in, I normally get like almost 200 calories or 200 grams of protein, about 175, 180. I'm about 170 pounds now. So today I'll get like 30 grams off the amino acid, perfect amino, another 10 and 10, which is 20, which is 50 grams of protein because of the bone broth. And then this is like, I don't think it's any protein here. Yeah. Excuse me as I take a sip. So I hope this was enlightening. I hope that you can take something from today's conversation, today's episode, and you can apply it to your life. That's a little bit of the story behind Smith and the logo and getting the brand lifted off, to why we started it, and get you excited for new episodes that are going to come live. And make sure that you do subscribe, notification bell, and be notified for episodes coming on. And just the best way to grow, I feel like, is like being a part of the conversation. That's with the comment, and that's with giving us some of your feedback. And I think feedback is good for us all to grow. That's all we could do, right? And if you're not growing, you're dying. So grateful for this show. Thank you so much for the team behind the scenes for all the editing and production of the show. Y'all are doing absolutely amazing. Thank you, Smith, for the opportunity to allow me to do this and to believe in me, to be able to do what I'm doing. Thank you for believing in me and taking the time to listen up until this point. It means a lot to me. Thank you to my wife and my daughter, because they're my biggest fan and they're really proud of me. And it's not always said. I'm an affirmations person, so it ties into the 5 Love Languages, a really good book. But I know that they care and that they are proud of me, and I'm very proud of them. And no matter what, I just want to put it out there that life's amazing. Every single day you're above ground is a blessing. The fact that you're alive in the first place is a blessing. I believe that we're here for a reason. I believe that we chose to be here. And I believe that if we don't continuously choose what we want out of the life that we live, then we're doing ourselves a disservice, because we chose to be here. So the least you could do is be like, yeah, I'm going to live to the fullest. Yeah, I'm going to help mankind somehow. Yes, I'm going to leave the world that much better than I found it. Because why the heck not? Come on, peoples. Totally up to you. It's your life, how you navigate the process. But you have my word. We're bringing the fire. We're bringing amazing episodes. And with your support, and if you want to be on the show too, or you know someone that should be on the show, connect them to me personally, and we will talk so we can all have more liftoff, share stories. It's like almost like cross-pollinating, right? So then that way we can look at different opportunities to grow, and not just believe that it's one way. The media, the news, the Bible, it's just one way. Maybe it's a combination of a recipe that can really bring it all together. I don't know. But what I will say is that I will be exploring, and I invite you to explore with me every single week on the Liftoff Experience.
Thank you for watching today's episode of the Liftoff Experience, as it is our intention to be able to help you have more liftoff in your life, personally, professionally, and spiritually. That's why we bring on amazing individuals and amazing episodes to be able to help you do as such. New episodes come out every single Saturday. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below with one thing that you took away from the episode. And if you have a compelling story that you wish to share and you want to come to Phoenix, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona specifically, to our recording studio, we'd love to have you on an episode. And a big thank you to Liftoff Agent, who does the thumbnail, writes the copy, does all the content for our show behind the scenes. That's all I do, is find guests, point and shoot and have a good time. So thanks so much to Liftoff Agent team. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the episode. And just do us a favor and like, subscribe, give us your feedback so we can get this out to more individuals. And of course, you could share this with someone else that you think that should see it. Because at the end of the day, we all have to help each other and serve each other to have more liftoff. And now, our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and see all of our other videos. If you're listening to this, just go to the Liftoff Experience on YouTube. And if you're watching this, then you can see on the screen that we have lots of episodes that you can take a look at and you can watch today to be able to go deeper with different subject matters to help you have more liftoff in your life. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. God bless. See you all on the next one.